His one tweet is enough to make the stock market go in goddamn circles. His efforts are recognized by the world. His every effort is made for just one thing: to save humanity. So noble. So if you haven't guessed it already, I'm talking about Elon Musk. Everything with owing up to it, and even owns his mistakes on occasion. So what did he do this time? Well, y'all might be aware of how he's actually helping Ukraine in these challenging times. But sometimes helping isn't enough, unfortunately. Sometimes you need to step up and smack that bully in the face with your big old electric car. And that's what Elon Musk is doing. He warned Putin that if he continues to do what he's doing, there's going to be consequences, and it wouldn't be pretty. You thought the Tesla Cybertruck was intense? Tesla nuke! Alright, I'm going to bring the energy down for the rest of this video, you have my word. So what's it all about? Stick by to understand the gibberish that I was be speaking in. Yeah. Elon Musk stepped up with a tiny gesture that may appear insignificant to most of us, but it's a fantastic way to contribute when you really think about it. Elon Musk claims that SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet service is already available in Ukraine, with more terminals on the way. Musk's announcement came in response to a request from a Ukrainian government official who asked if he might assist the country's residents in gaining internet connectivity in the face of persistent Russian strikes. Mikhailo Fedorov, Ukraine's vice prime minister and minister of digital transformation, addressed Elon Musk directly in his request, saying, "While you try to colonize Mars, Russia tries to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and address sane Russians to stand." Fedorov stated Musk took approximately 10 hours to comment, but he did so on Twitter, noting that Starlink satellite internet service is already operational in Ukraine. "Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. More terminals en route," Musk said. He was trying to say that more routers are on their way, and it might not seem like a big old dealio to us, but we understand just how much this means to the people living in Ukraine. It makes no difference whether they're Ukrainian citizens or not. They are at risk if they're living there. Even if Putin promised that those who don't belong in Ukraine will not be punished, it's a conflict, and conflicts result in casualties, and unintended casualties at that. People can get caught in the crossfire. According to Musk, 2 shipments of Starlink routers have already been sent to Ukraine, with more on the way. He isn't going to stop there, though. He's also attempting to make Starlink more secure. He's working on cybersecurity because if the Ukrainian government is concerned that his internet will be useless if Russian hackers gain access to the grid, he informed the Ukrainian government that his internet service is actually entirely secure, and there's reduced reason for concern. He also stated that he's striving to make Starlink safe, which will cause the launch of the Starship and the V2 satellite to be postponed. As we all know, superchargers are going to be available for free in portions of Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary as part of Tesla's efforts to help individuals affected by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. There is no charge in sections of Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. We're temporarily enabling free supercharging for Tesla and non-Tesla vehicles in locations impacted by the current situation in Ukraine starting Monday. Beginning with Trzebonisko, Poland, Kois, Slovakia, and Miskolc and Debrecen in Hungary. We hope this gives you the confidence to go to a secure area. Tesla added, the superchargers offered by the corporation are relatively close to Ukraine. The Kois supercharger, for example, is located in the east of the Ukraine border. Miskolc and Debrecen, Hungary, are located southeast of Ukraine. Given that Tesla's letter mentioned that the free supercharging offer would start with 4 stations near Ukraine, the company is likely going to expand the program to include some of its other rapid charging stations in the area. Non-Tesla owners can still take advantage of this free supercharging deal, which should help all the electric car drivers, in the area. Tesla's offer of free supercharging to those affected by the Ukraine invasion is just another gesture by the Elon Musk-led company to aid in situation's development. We may claim that Elon Musk is gaining hearts with this and kind of like the social stunt or what have you, and this whole prior endeavor to give internet connection to Ukraine was already a thing. These may not seem important to those who haven't been affected by the violence, but before we say that, we should try to walk a mile in their shoes, not trying to preach, just being me. Hey. The Russian Federation and Ukraine are currently at odds. The Russo-Ukrainian conflict erupted in 2014 when Russia took Crimea from Ukraine. Russia launched an all-out frontal assault on Ukraine in February of 2022. Since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, the successor government's bilateral relations have been characterized by ties, tensions, and open antagonism. Goals for sovereignty and independence and the foreign policy that balanced involvement with the EU, Russia, and other significant countries defined Ukraine's strategy in the early 1990s. Since 2014, relations between the two countries have been pretty tight. And not in the cool slang way, you know what I mean. The dignity revolution has begun. Viktor Yanukovych, Ukraine's elected president, and his associates were all deposed after he refused to sign a political association and free trade agreement with the European Union, backed by a majority of the country's parliament. Rather than playing a careful diplomatic game balancing its own economic and security interests with those of Russia, the EU, and NATO members, Ukraine's post-revolutionary administration has decided to commit the country to a future in the EU and NATO. The EU welcomed the Czech Republic and also Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Slovakia in 2004, with Bulgaria and Romania following in 2007. The Russian leadership was pretty anxious that Ukraine's participation in the EU and NATO would complete a Western wall of friends, preventing Russia from accessing the Black Sea. Because South Korea and Japan were US allies, the Russian government was concerned that Russia was becoming ring-fenced by possibly hostile powers. Russia-sponsored separatist organizations in the Ukraine's economically vital Donbas region, bordered on the east by Russia, following the Dignity Revolution. Russians make up the majority of the population in this area. By early 2022, the Russia-Ukrainian war had killed over 13,000 people, prompting Western sanctions on Russia. In 2019, Ukraine's constitution was amended, solidifying the country's geopolitical path to EU and NATO membership. The military buildup by Russia near Ukraine's borders in 2021 and 2022 has heightened tensions and weakened bilateral relations. The US sends a very clear message to Russia, warning that an invasion would have serious economic consequences. On February 24, 2022, Russia, as you all know, attacked Ukraine, leading Ukraine to cut diplomatic ties with its eastern neighbor. A conflict is both physical and it is psychological. If you can win psychologically, you will have no trouble winning a conflict. He expressed his support for Ukraine with a tweet on March 5th, writing, "Hold strong, Ukraine," with 3 Ukrainian flags at the beginning and the end of the text. The goal is to motivate army men by reassuring them that he is with them and doing his best to assist them. A few days back, he also tweeted where he challenged Putin in a one-on-one fight. There's no response by Putin yet, but the majority of the Twitter audience, is on Musk's side. They're going to show up to the ring in the fight, and Musk is going to be like, "Oh, where's your power suit? Transformer noise. Editor, he'll hook me up here." Alright, back to the serious stuff. Many sanctions have been imposed on Russia, and there's international conflict over the International Space Station, or the ISS. The problem is that the Russian advancement engine spews out space trash, so if the sanctions are in place, there's a potential that the space station won't be able to maintain its position. Elon Musk, on the other hand, is prepared to help, as he always is. He stated on Twitter that his business, SpaceX, would be able to assist in such a case. He's also collaborating with the Pentagon on a defense system that could help neutralize the Russian Air Force's rocket. So, indeed, there is quite a bit going on behind the scenes. Russia also removes the flags of countries from their space project, showing that they are breaking ties with every country that is not supporting them in this conflict. But there is one more thing here: the UN Court, which is the highest authority that there is when it comes to international conflict. They ordered the Russian government to stop their invasion of Ukraine. There are no statements from any side of Ukraine, but many experts believe that they won't stop, and if they don't stop, well, then the whole world is against them. And this entire world is also now supported by the forces of the world's richest man. We don't even know how influential Elon Musk can be when it comes to the sake of humanity. So it's going to be exciting now that he's been called to action. In this conflict, he stands with mankind, and he's doing his best. Like Elon Musk or not like Elon Musk, he is doing some good things. He also stated that he won't support a ban on Russian media since he believes in free speech. Power to him. His company's stock prices have actually dropped due to the fight, but he isn't bothered about it right now. The only thing on his mind right now is, how can I get my internet service in Ukraine? No, again, he's doing good things. He's not like, descended from the heavens like, "Oh, I am here, my sons. I will cure you of all your battlefield problems." No, but again, we can be rest assured that he's doing something. So, thank you guys for checking in with this update, and we'll see you guys later.